All right, Ben. So I just don't see how this is going to work.
No, we can totally make this work. It'll be hard. We do have the name going for us. Predominantly Football Podcast still works.
Yeah, okay, but Cole's in the bathroom right now. We got to hurry this up
Okay.
because he doesn't know anything about soccer. It's not going to work.
I think we're going to have to make... I don't know. Cole's our friend. I think we switch to British accents.
Okay.
We talk about soccer.
Okay.
At the beginning of every episode, we say, hey, we're not
Good
trying
eye,
to...
mate.
Yeah, we're not trying to offend anyone or something like that.
Yeah.
We are from
Okay.
North Cornwall or something British like that.
Okay.
And then I think we're just going to have to say goodbye to Cole. It's going to be hard, but it's for the good of the podcast. And sometimes you got to put the podcast...
Hello,
Oh, hi, Cole! Hi, it's good
Hi.
to see you.
We weren't talking about you.
Not at all. Scotty, be subtle. God. How are you?
You just want me to start? Should we just start the podcast?
Yeah,
Sure,
lots
go
of,
ahead, go
lots
ahead.
of American football news coming your way.
Absolutely.
Start the podcast.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
We're ready.
Yeah. Say the thing. Say the
All right. Are you sure? All right.
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah. We're 100%.
100%.
100%.
to tell you.
Okay.
100%, mate. I mean,
Hi.
100%, friend. Yeah,
All right.
go.
Hi, everyone. This is a predominantly football podcast where we talk about a variety of sports, but predominantly football. Cue the intro.
Definitely American football.
Welcome, everyone, to this Wednesday edition of the Predominantly Football Podcast. It is June 3rd, 2020. I'm Cole Isaacson here with Scott Lebo and Ben Prannell.
And Cole,
I guess
Cole,
at
while
least
we're talking
I'm
about
here
members,
for now based on getting into the end of that conversation.
no, Cole, it's important to know that you are a valued member of this team, that we would never replace you.
Absolutely.
No, we would never ditch you for the good of the podcast, right, Scotty?
No way.
No.
It's
no.
not like British people are a better audience or anything
no.
like that.
It's not like soccer is more interesting than football. No.
All right.
No,
well,
no,
anyways,
no.
per usual, we have a lot of interesting topics to discuss today, including the potential of not having fans for the 2020 NFL season.
Yeah, Chargers
and
rejoice.
a nice little game of deal or no deal. But let's start with my favorite topic, probably of the sport, the NFL schedule. As you might have heard in our first ever podcast, I am what you could call the schedule enthusiast.
Can I ask a question for the good of the audience? You have to choose
I don't see.
between schedule release day, the day that people report for training camp, and Super Bowl Sunday.
I think it's a tight one. Training camp's out. I would say Super Bowl Sunday still, but
Okay.
I was about to say, you're just like...
schedule release day is
It's like,
very
I don't know,
important.
Super Bowl, the Super Bowl's kind of... You're just like, the Super Bowl's kind of lame. There's not much defense. I like the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl's a game with stakes.
It means so
Yeah,
much.
some Broncos players can at least play in the
Yeah,
Pro
some
Bowl.
nice
so
medium.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to the discussion that we're going to have about the NFL schedule. Now, we aren't going to predict the outcomes of the games
Because
yet.
it's
That'll
June,
come down the road.
and that's impossible.
However, we are going to do what you could call a deep dive into the NFL schedule for this season. We have each selected some games for this coming
Yes,
some
definitely
games
before
per
we
week
started.
in the season that we're all looking forward to.
We have definitely got
and
all
we're
of our
all
games
going
before
to
we started.
say our favorite game per week and why it is our favorite game of that week.
You know, Cole, we could save a lot of
for
time and just
what?
say
What's up?
Steelers games. I think, yeah, let's just save everybody time. My favorite games are the Steelers. Every week they play because the Steelers are the only team that matters. They're God's team. That's why Super Bowl. That's why Sunday is the day of rest, because the Steelers play on Sunday.
Okay.
That's
Ben.
what the
All right,
Bible.
well,
That's
I
John
encourage everybody to
3:17.
pull out the schedule on their phones or whatever device you're using
Yeah,
comment
John
what your
3:17.
favorite
For
games
God so
of
loved
the
the
week
world
are.
that
You
he
can go
gave
on
them
with
the
Ben
Pittsburgh
and just pick
Steelers.
Steeler games or whatever your favorite football team is. But let's just get right into it. Let's start with week one. I'll go first with
Thanks,
which
Cole.
game I'm most looking forward to.
That's okay. I'm
For
100%
me,
ready.
It's got to be it's got to be Buccaneers at Saints.
Yeah.
For me at least. That's going to be the main Fox game. It's at 4:25 Eastern time on Sunday. And it's Brady's first game with the Bucs, so that's the first intrigue. But not only is it Brady's first game with the Bucs, it's against Drew Brees. And Tom Brady versus Drew Brees was a matchup that we only got to see once every 4 years before this. And now we get to see it twice this year, and this being the first one and the first game of the season for both of these teams. So that's why it is my favorite game of that week.
It's going to be strange because the Tom Brady-Drew Brees games kept us through the political commercials. That was the only thing that kept us going. So it should be interesting to see that twice a year. Let's hope we don't get more political commercials twice a year. That would be unbearable.
All right, Scott, which one's yours? Which one's your favorite?
This is a bit of a kind of a...
Pats fan bias.
No, okay, that's not what it is.
Pats fan bias.
I'm picking Patriots Miami. It's not because it's New England. I think it's because it's week 1 and it's two teams that have a lot to prove. New England has
That's
a
fair.
lot to prove without Brady, and Miami, they drafted high and they drafted a lot and they tried to improve their team. They've got a lot to prove.
Right.
It's a prove-it year for Brian Flores. It's a prove-it year for Stidham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also a little bit of a revenge game if you think about it,
Yeah.
because of what happened between those two.
Kept
Week
us from a
17
bye
and knocked the Patriots out of a
Yeah.
bye week.
Yeah.
Would that Patriots team have beaten Kansas City in the playoffs?
Probably not.
No, but they
Honestly.
might have made it. It would have been another round that they could have gone through, I guess. But
Yeah, and the
I
Patriots
still,
off a bye week is better.
Right,
than,
and the Patriots' strength fights against Kansas City's strength, which is
Yeah.
passing. That would have been a very good game.
very good game.
So, my game, I like the Packers and the Vikings. I like the Texans and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for a tie, unless we can get a double loss in the Browns and the Ravens. But I think the Chargers and the Bengals will mean a lot for the future of those two teams.
Okay.
Because Cincinnati,
Yeah.
if it's Burrow playing, Herbert won't play.
Probably not.
And if Herbert is
probably,
playing,
yeah, it's Tyrod Taylor show.
and if Herbert is playing, Chargers fans just abandon all hope
Yeah.
to enter here. That's a hell reference. I think
I mean,
if Herbert played, it would be much more interesting to see, these are two of the top quarterbacks of the class. Can Burrow, and San Diego's got San Diego. I still call him San Diego.
Los Angeles.
The Chargers have a very
you
solid
knew it was going to
defense.
happen eventually where one of us called them San Diego.
Yeah.
I still call
All
him
the
San
time.
Diego. I still call him San Diego, especially because there's another LA team. But I think that will be a very important game for the fans just to see, okay, Joe Burrow played okay against a good defense in his first NFL game. I like that.
Or he didn't
Yeah.
play very good against a good defense in his first NFL game.
I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
Still a fan bias.
I think we still do have to give the opener some love because it's the opener, and that's another one of
Yeah.
my favorite games.
Yeah.
Like, it's back. It's finally back.
I mean-
But I don't think that it
Yeah.
compares to, some of the other
didn't
games.
even
Well,
watch
it,
that
obviously
one.
it compares,
It
but at
Who's
least...
the opener?
Green Bay.
Oh,
Yeah, we
watched
like
it
some
because
other
I was
games
so
better.
horribly bored without it, but that was boring.
I didn't
Philadelphia Atlanta was boring.
Yeah, I didn't. I
mean,
watched Philadelphia, Atlanta.
I
didn't
think
watch
that the
Green Bay.
opener... I make schedules, and the opener is the easiest game to pick which one it's going to be. Because the schedule maker... You know who's hosting it, first of all, right? Because it's always the Super Bowl champion, except
Right.
for when the Packers played the Bears.
Last year because of my tradition.
And then, yeah, exactly. Then they always make it the best game that team hosts, and I think that they did
Right.
pick a good opener in Houston.
Which is dumb. 'cause
But I'm looking forward to Bucks and Saints
the
more.
the opener should be against a trash team. So the Chiefs.
The
get
Super
to-
Bowl
The
champions
Chiefs
get
get to
to-
lord out their goats against maybe the Bengals. Just to
Miami.
put on display how dominant they are when they score 70 points against that.
No, Miami.
There you go. When they score 80 points against Miami, they get to just for the fans, Just let the fans have this. When you lose on opening night as the Super Bowl champion,
Yeah,
it's
it's-
hard.
Coming from experience, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, thankfully, I don't have that experience, but
I don't
almost
remember the
did.
series.
Probably a few inches away from it with Gano's field goal, but
Yeah.
I don't really remember
don't
this.
have it.
See, I don't remember the Steelers.
Well, let's go to week 2. Scott, why don't you start us off with week 2? What's your best game?
I got another 2 teams that have a lot to prove this year. I got Vikings, Colts.
Yes.
Colts
are looking to get back to the playoffs.
Colts are trying to get back to the playoffs, of course, and they might have the opportunity to do that with the extra seed. And as far as the Vikings, they've kind of been, second best in their division for a while. Historically, they've been second best to Green Bay, so
yeah.
It's
and Chicago that one year.
Yeah.
That one fluke year.
These two teams, they've got a lot to prove. So
yeah,
I think it's a great game.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. Just looking at some of these games, there's some interesting games. Cleveland's going to be mad at Cincinnati because it's a rivalry, and Cincinnati stomped the Browns in Week 17, much to my delight. Jacksonville, Tennessee could be good. Those games are hard-hitting. I think Ravens-Texans is really going to be a game where the Texans are let's assume here, they might lose to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Now you got to play the Ravens.
Yeah.
You want to go out, and
you can't start 0-2.
And the Ravens stomped these guys, so you want to go out and prove that you beat us, but we're gonna beat you again because we're better than you, and that's a big game. Chiefs Chargers.
And I think it's also a little bit of a prove it game because everybody's like, well, you traded away DeAndre Hopkins, you're not going to be as good as you were last year. If they can beat the team that was 14-2 last year, then they can say, we can do it without him.
Yeah. And it just gets harder for the Texans, too. And I'll talk about that in a few minutes.
That game will be at 4:25 Eastern Time. That'll be Nance and Romo probably on the call there.
Yeah.
Unless they call Mahomes. The Mahomes game is in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
No, this one's going to be the one.
But it's in Los Angeles, and it's Mahomes.
But they moved this one back for that reason. I'm from Vegas. I'm a little biased here, but I do look at the Saints and the Raiders.
Yeah, that could be an interesting game.
Yeah.
Because the new stadium's getting opened, but once the stadium gets opened, it becomes a not very interesting game.
Well, I'm looking forward to it because I grew up there, and we didn't have professional sports until the Knights showed up, and it's like, I don't like the Raiders, I don't. But it's nice to see that Vegas is finally getting a pro football team there. And that stadium's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so good. And it's on Monday Night Football, first ever pro football game in Las Vegas, regular season. That should be a fun one to watch, even though the Saints are the superior team.
That would be a fun game until kickoff.
Yeah.
All right. Week 3. Because I'm going to decide to be nice and leave the Titans and the Vikings. Just because, why not with Houston? Houston's like, okay, we played the Chiefs, we played the Ravens. Who do we get to play now? It's at Pittsburgh. Die, Mosquito. Die. Now, I'm looking at this game. I'm excited for this game for a few reasons. 1, Steelers. 2, pretty weak Houston team we should be able to beat up on. 3, when we beat up on said weak Houston team, we will be able, and the fans will be able to have signs pleading J.J. Watt to come join the Steelers. We'll get to see a Watt Bowl where the first time it's all three Watts in one game.
Yep.
And the parents are still going to have probably rooting for J.J.
Yeah.
Like when they played on Christmas a couple years ago, they showed them and they had like a shirt with the Texans logo, the Chargers bolt, and the 3 little Steelers diamonds. You couldn't even see the diamonds.
Yeah.
And we're just like, bro. So I'm looking forward to that game. J.J. Watt, if you're listening, you said yins, so you're contractually obligated to join the Steelers. When you do not extend your contract, it's happening, people.
Okay,
I'm so psyched for that. He's going to be weak, but he's going to be a shell, but it's J.J. Watt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cole?
Just let me have it.
I'm going to go with the obvious choice here. There are actually 2 very good games, but if Scott wants to choose the other one, I'm going to save it the next one for him. I'm going with the obvious Monday Night Football game here. It's the Kansas City Chiefs at the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah,
the 2 best teams in the conference.
I hadn't seen that yet. I was looking at Titans, Vikings on, what's the other one? Cowboys, Seahawks? Ew. Yeah, okay,
the 2 last games of the week this week are both very good games that I'm
Why do
looking
they
forward
keep playing
to.
in
But
week 3?
it's Chiefs Ravens. I think that right now, I'm not saying this is going to be the next Manning Brady thing, but right now this is probably the leading candidate. Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, probably the leading candidate to be like the next two quarterbacks that are going at it for the next 10 to 15 years with their teams fighting for the Super Bowl.
Right.
And
Hopefully
it's
not.
just another chapter in that story. Mahomes has won all of them, but they've all been in Arrowhead. This is the first time that he's had to go to Baltimore. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how that
Why do they
turns
keep
out.
playing
Monday
week
Night
3?
Football schedules haven't been that great. They got a steal here.
Yeah.
Why do they keep playing in week 3? Remember,
I don't know. They did
remember a
last
couple
year.
years ago when the Steelers and the Patriots played those week 15 games?
Yeah.
The one before,
They
they're
mattered
fighting,
so much.
The one before, they're fighting for the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
And that was intense.
Yeah.
That was an incredible game. The next year, it's not as head-to-head, but they're both, it's an important game because it's the
For
Steelers
both
and the
teams,
Patriots.
yeah.
The Steelers are trying desperately to stay in the playoffs because they have to play in the Superdome the next week.
Yep.
The Patriots are trying to stay in the fight with Kansas City. It was Kansas City, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
For number
That game
one.
was that game was intense, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get to this with the crowds, but Renegade in those games was, I wish I was there, but the Renegade was just absolutely insane. So I was like, don't talk about Renegade. I'm gonna start talking about
All right,
Renegade
Scott, what do
soon,
you
guys.
think?
Ben kind of dissed my game earlier.
I did diss your game.
Dallas, Seattle is what I've got. I really like Seattle, and it's a prove-it game for Dak Prescott. He's got a lot to prove against the guy who he wants to make that much money. I mean, Russell Wilson is the guy making the $140 million, and Dak Prescott's the guy who wants to make it. You got to go out there, you got to beat him, and you got to show, hey, I'm better than Russell Wilson. I deserve more money.
Is it in front of the 12s? It is. Good luck. It's in, good luck.
What?
It's in Seattle.
In front of the 12s.
Oh, yeah, it's in Seattle.
Good luck. That should be a really good game. I think Scotty picked
Should be a good one. Yeah, that's the Buck Aikman game, probably.
I saw you.
Yeah, but the first hint was that the Cowboys were playing in it, but
Yeah, that should be.
I think I'm going to shout out an honorable mention here because this game, I was debating which ones I should choose between the Chiefs and the Ravens, and then the Packers go to New Orleans on Sunday night, which I'm also very much looking forward to.
I know
When two teams that win 13 games in the prior year play
I
each
thought
other
that was
next
going to
year,
get picked
so-
up when he needed to easily.
I know it's early.
Yeah.
I know it's way early. It's June. It's the first few days of June. But I think the Packers are going to lose that game bad. Because every year it seems the Packers, they go on the road to an NFC South team on Sunday night. It was Atlanta the last couple years. This game's hyped up. The Packers, they're trying to stay. They're in a Super Bowl fight, and they're up against another Super Bowl contender, and the Packers get spanked. The Packers get spanked on Sunday night games when they're not playing the Bears. So I think the Packers are going to lose that game. Unless like the Saints like bus crashes or something like that. Or they all get coronavirus in week 3. It is week 3. In week 2. Yeah, it'll be an interesting game, but
All right.
okay.
All right, let's go to week 4.
Ben kills another conversation.
I get the first pick here, I guess you could say. And I'm going to go with the Sunday Night Football game for this week. That's the Eagles at the 49ers.
Yeah, that's
I think that one's the most intriguing matchup of the week, in my opinion. I know Ben's going to disagree because the Steelers also playing a pretty good one.
The Steelers is the most intriguing matchup in every week. And he's got a smile. I saw your games. Don't you dare. All right, you can have this one. But there's a game later on in the year that none of you are allowed to touch. I already threatened you with it. I'm not going to say what I said.
It's all right,
because
Ben.
it is
I
so
don't think
horribly
it's the best game of
vile
that week, so it's
that
fine.
my code, my moral code forbids me from saying it. And if I bleeped it out, I don't think you guys would know what it was. So that's also sad. Can I say it?
But
No.
I'm looking forward to the Eagles at the 49ers because I think that both of those two teams have moderately, I'm not going to say easy schedules because the NFL is just not easy and, it's never a given game. But I looked at their schedules, and I think both of those teams can start 3-0. So you you might have 2 3-0 teams playing each other here, and apparently it's a prove-it game for the 49ers because you guys sitting over here thinking they're not Super Bowl contenders, so they're going to have to prove it. And it's a good team to prove it against
If
because
it's
the
2-3-0
Eagles,
teams,
they're doing a lot of good stuff over there. So it's two good teams
matchup.
in the NFC playing each other. So that's why it's my pick.
All right, Cole, quick question. If they're both 3-0, how many times are we going to have to hear people say, potential NFC championship matchup? And be like, well, this game
Too many.
decide home field advantage in the NFC.
Too many.
Too many. Good answer. Good
Too
answer.
many. You already said it too many times. So.
I'm going to steal from Ben here. I'm taking Pittsburgh and Tennessee.
Man, throw back to elementary school when everybody was like, Ben, you like the Steelers? Do they just steal from people? I'm like, third graders are stupid. In recent news, third graders have been found to be stupid. Myself.
Yeah, I think this could be a really good game. Roethlisberger's back. Pittsburgh, or he could be back. Pittsburgh's offense is looking to be pretty good again. Yeah, I know, Ben. Pittsburgh has a good front
That's
seven.
the matchup everybody
It's
wants.
gonna really come down to Watt versus Henry, really. In the trenches, Watt and Henry gonna be going at it. Should be a fun one.
Yeah, this game's really good. Like when I made one of my schedules, I had this game as like the 4:25 Eastern time, the one where Jim Nance gets to go to. It was scheduled in the actual schedule for a 1 o'clock start time.
Which makes Ben happy. He
Makes
hates
me
watching
so
the
happy.
late
I
games.
hate
He hates
when the
primetime
Steelers
games.
play
He
late.
hates
When they play night games, I don't get to go to sleep because I'm so frustrated because we lost and I drank Mountain Dew, so I'm never gonna be able to go to sleep. And it's always a school night. All right.
Not sponsored by Mountain Dew.
Not sponsored by Mountain Dew. Although we would like to be sponsored by Mountain Dew. Scotty would like it because he gets free Mountain Dew, and right now he's
Call us
taking a
up, Mountain
protein
Dew.
shake.
Yeah.
What's even in there?
Protein powder,
Jeez,
ice cream, and milk.
that sounds like what Gronk would eat.
I don't think you can eat that.
You're just like, I don't smell alcohol, so maybe not for Gronk.
After eating burgers and fries for dinner, I'm not really hungry, and these shakes are so filling. I'm just not having it.
I had another night I was gonna eat chicken breast, but my mom froze them, so I have to eat those tomorrow. All right, well, since Scotty's a meanie and
Ben, your Steelers got taken. What are you doing?
yeah, I know. I was about to say, since Scotty's a real meanie poo, Tua versus Russell Wilson, everybody will be interested in that one. But I think, no, we talked about screw it. We are now the predominantly Houston Texans podcast because every week it's about the Texans. They play Minnesota. I think that's going to be a really good game because if Deshaun Watson is still alive from the good pass rushes he's had to face for the first 3 weeks, he's like, okay, I'm dead. All of my bones are broken. I feel like Tony Romo. Maybe I'll get to go against a nice cakewalk defense. Minnesota playing Lance. Like, are you kidding me? When do we get to play Jacksonville? I want to play Jacksonville. So I think that could be a good game. Houston might get beat, but Houston's also really good, and they can still win games even without DeAndre Hopkins. Will Fuller was really good.
The big thing that I look up the Texans' schedule is that I'm not saying they will start 0-4. I don't think it'd be too surprising based on who they play.
Guys, they do play Jacksonville
It's a
in Week
difficult
5.
start.
I swear that was a coincidence. They play Jacksonville in Week 5.
All right, well,
Oh, is it my turn to pick first?
let's start with Week 5.
Yeah,
so
you
yeah.
just
I'm taking Pittsburgh, Philadelphia.
I hate you.
Yeah.
Um,
That was going to be one of my top picks, too.
it's one. They're two great teams, but I'm focusing on it's the Pennsylvania battle.
It is the Pennsylvania battle, exactly.
Yeah, it's the Pennsylvania battle, and it from somebody who used to live in Pennsylvania. I know that state is pretty split, so it should be fun. I know my old friends in Pennsylvania are going to be looking forward to
And
it.
your new friend in Colorado.
Well, the Pennsylvania battle is always fun. It happens once every 4 years. And frankly, I look forward to it, too.
Scott,
Yeah.
are you saying that we're not friends?
No, we're not friends, Ben.
Good, because I didn't think so either. Looking at some of these games, New England plays Denver, so that'd be kind of but that game's
That's a
kind of,
historic.
yeah. With no Manning and no
that's
Brady.
not. I don't think that's going to be
no
a good
Manning,
game,
no
right?
Brady. John Fox isn't even coaching, so.
That's 2 8-8 teams playing each other. I
You know
think.
what, all right, where's a nice tanking game? There it is. All right, since I don't want to talk about Houston again, even though they do play Jacksonville, and Deshaun Watson rejoices, let's start talking about tanking teams. That's going to be a thing for me because I like tanking games. Carolina and Atlanta.
I don't think either of those teams are going to have the mindset early
Right,
in
but
the
they're still
season
contending
of
for
Yeah.
a tank.
But-
But at this point in the season, if they're 0-4,
Right.
who knows?
And I think later on in the
Maybe.
season, this game is going to mean stuff for draft picks. Indianapolis and Cleveland can also be a really good game if the Browns lose.
All right.
All right, Cole, what you got for us?
I'm debating between the Monday and the Sunday night game of this week, but I think I'm going to go with the Sunday night game of this week, like I always do. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings at the Seattle Seahawks because I like it. It's just those two teams have played the last 2 years in Seattle, and especially last year. Last year was an incredible game on Monday night. Yeah, Kirk Cousins hasn't been able to win there, but granted, those two are on Monday, and he hasn't been able to win on Monday. So maybe when it's not on Monday, he'll have a fighting shot. I don't know, but it should be a good football game because those are two playoff contending teams duking it out.
All right. I look at my schedule here. I see the Chiefs and the Bills. Good game. I see the Ravens and the Eagles. Pretty good game.
We're on to week 6, by the way.
But
Yeah.
I finally get to pick first, and Cleveland is playing at Pittsburgh, and that is going to... No, just think about the atmosphere of that game.
Okay, Ben.
Myles Garrett's first game, and it's in against Pittsburgh, and it's in Pittsburgh. There's going to be...
Yeah, actually, I'm actually with them on that.
Remember when the
good.
Steelers played the Bengals a few years ago, 2015, and Le'Veon Bell, he got his ACL torn by Vontaze Burfict, big shock. And before the game, they were at midfield, getting at each other's throats. That's what that game is going to be. That game is going to be violent. It's going to be intense. It might have AFC North implications. Everybody will downplay the Steelers, which is going to make me mad. I'm excited for that game.
So here's my question to you. Are the Browns the new Bengals for you?
Well, how do you mean?
Well, what I mean is, Vontaze Burfict was always injuring your players between Le'Veon Bell and the Antonio Brown hit on Monday night at 16, I think it was.
That was a big...
Are the Browns the new Bengals in that
That
way?
was a big fight. And for my sister, who's in love with Mason Rudolph, yes, 100%. For me, no, not quite. If somebody gets hurt in that game for the Steelers, then I'm going to be blunt, but it's on. So, yeah, I think it's getting to that point. It's going to be violent. It's going to be a good game.
And last year, this was a good game that came down close to the end.
Right.
Baker Mayfield couldn't lead them on that final drive. Lost 20-13.
Yes, I was watching the game. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Hayden had an former Brown, no less.
Well, it's my turn to pick. I am going to go with the obvious choice like I usually do. I'm going with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers versus Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Because this is another quarterback battle that we only see once every 4 years, if that. Because in 2010, when the Packers went up to New England, Aaron Rodgers missed that game.
It's on line.
Because Brady moved conferences, we get to see it now. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know if it's going to be points bonanza, but I'm looking forward to seeing two of the best in the game just playing against each other.
Yeah, it should be some good games. But if Tampa Bay's busted at this point, if they're not doing well, that game could be a real snooze fest.
Yeah.
I mean, it could, but
if
right
Tampa Bay's
now
bad, it
I'm
could also be a
operating
crazy
under the
shootout.
implication that the Bucs are probably 4-1 coming into this game or something like that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where a lot of these are where these two teams lie. Like Miami and Denver could be a really good game if those teams are winning. So
If
just
they were
based
winning,
on,
yeah.
Yeah, just
they
based
won.
on what we know. All right.
It's week
Monsieur.
6, correct?
Yeah. Monsieur Lebeau.
Yep.
Baltimore, Philly.
That's good.
Going back to
Yeah.
Philadelphia. It's two really good teams here again.
Right.
It's hard to argue against Lamar Jackson versus Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz isn't the most mobile anymore,
Yeah.
but it's two mobile quarterbacks, and they're very talented teams.
Two
And
good front sevens too.
yeah, two good front sevens, good offensive lines,
Yeah,
good run
this should
games.
be-
This should be
This should be.
Yeah.
This should
Yeah.
be a really good game. All right.
I think it's a lot of strength versus strength when you talk about these two teams going at each other. And when it's two playoff teams, it's just good. You got to
Yeah.
love it when it's two playoff teams. And also, we only get to see this once every 4 years.
of course.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That helps. A little
All right.
spacing really helps the.
So, Ben, you're first. Oh, wait, no, I'm first.
No, I was about to
Week
say
7.
I'm not first.
I am first for this week, and
You're last.
I'm going to go with another matchup that we only get to see once every 4 years. This is probably the only time we're actually going to get to see this.
Nice points.
I'm going Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson, the Green Bay Packers at the Houston Texans for Week
Right.
7.
If Watson's legs haven't been ripped off from his body at this point, jeez, Louise.
Yeah,
Why
with
you
the
say
schedule he's got.
if we even get to see this again in the future?
Because Rodgers is old.
Yeah, I don't think we do because Aaron Rodgers. I don't.
Rodgers
You don't
can't-
think Rodgers plays another 4 years?
Aaron Rodgers can't keep discount double checking his way through the league.
All right. Fair
Not
enough.
sponsored by State Farm.
Hmm.
Had to say that. Do they even still do the discount double check?
I haven't seen him do that in years.
Those commercials were pretty. They were interesting.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Not sponsored.
Like a week podcast. We're not sponsored by State Farm.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're the best podcast ever. But
Yeah, nobody seems to
He
know.
said like a week
What?
podcast.
I
He
said
said
like
like
a
a week podcast, not we're a week podcast. So
I mean,
Oh, I thought
I
he
don't know
said
why
we.
people
All
haven't
right.
noticed this yet. We're the best at what we do. We're the best in the world. at what
Absolutely.
All
we
right.
do.
So I
Not
believe
sponsored by
it.
Chris Jericho.
It's Scott now.
Jimmy Garoppolo is going back to play his old team.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, I figured you'd go there.
It's Garoppolo versus Belichick, and Belichick wanted to keep Garoppolo over Brady.
Right.
For me, it's a pretty simple choice here.
Yeah, I see it.
See, this is the one time I would be justified in picking my team and saying that's going to be a really good one at the Ravens. But I want to talk about the Seahawks and the Cardinals because
Yeah.
the Steelers. It's just the same old talking points. I
Yeah,
want to talk about them
definitely.
later. Yeah, I think this will really be. We've said prove it a lot. I think this game Arizona's going to have to put themselves on the map. If they lose, Seattle's just going to be like, "You're nothing. You're just Cleveland again." Everybody gets all hyped, and then you just get swatted down like Cole playing volleyball. So Arizona has to win that game just to get people to notice them. Because, like, look at this. Mahomes is going to be playing. The Niners and the Patriots are going to be playing during that time. Arizona's probably not going to get the publicity that they think that they should be getting from the country. So they're going to want to go out and prove it in that game.
Yeah, I think the only people watching that game likely are going to be 49ers and Cardinal fans.
Yeah,
So,
and the Steelers have a bye week. Week 8.
Why would the 49ers watch Seattle and Arizona?
I meant no, sorry. Seattle fans.
The 49ers, like, kicking the Patriots' butt so hard.
Yeah,
game's not interesting
Jimmy Garoppolo's
anymore.
just watching it on the sideline.
This game's not interesting anymore. We want Wilson.
I'm starting
Yes.
San Francisco, Seattle.
Yeah, duh.
This is a game I grew up on. Really, it's one of my favorite rivalry games in the NFL, and this particular one is in Seattle, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Yep.
And you know that the 12th man is going to be out there, and they're going to be loud, and
The 12s.
it's going to be really
Well,
fun.
if they can be, we'll talk about that a little later.
But I really enjoy this rivalry, and over the years I've switched from a San Francisco fan to a Seattle fan of the two, and I just yeah.
Should be a really
It was funny that as far as those two teams, and neither of them have ever and will ever be my favorite or even top two, but I did like reverse bandwagoning.
Yeah.
When Seattle was really good, I disliked them and I liked San Francisco. And when San Francisco was really good, I disliked them and liked Seattle.
I like Seattle. I like him a lot more than Richard Sherman's gone.
Yeah, agreed.
And him being on San Francisco.
Yeah, and then he's on San
That
Francisco.
doesn't really help them out in my war of allegiances. All right, is it me next or Cole?
Yeah, it's you next.
It's me next. Steelers have a bye week. We didn't talk about the Vikings and the Packers before, and I think this is also a very good game. They've already been done. Week 1 and Week 8 they play each other, which I don't really like. I would like them to play late down the stretch.
Yeah.
I'm fine with them
week
playing
15.
in like one of these games, but come on, put it within like Week 12 or so. So it's got
like last year, the Monday night finale was Packers at Vikings, and that had huge playoff implications.
Right, even if it's in Week 12, that's when teams are looking at the playoffs. Right now, I mean, if one team wins both of these games, there's really nothing they can do. Because if they've got a 2-game lead on you, you're kind of screwed. So I think that'll be a really good game. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm also going to go with the division rivalry. I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles, and I know that's like the cliche primetime matchup, I guess, but
No,
it is a really
that's
big
the Cowboys and the
rivalry.
Giants.
And those two teams hate each other.
Yeah.
There's a lot. It's very chippy, and also it's very important because right now I have the Redskins and the Giants haven't shown me anything that they're going to step up and contend to the division.
No, they were two of our worst teams in our power rankings.
Yeah, so these two teams, they're the two. It's a 2-team race right now for who will win that division, and when they play each other twice a year, it's extra important.
Right. That should be exciting. All right. I've got first dibs in Week 9, right? I do. I'm not going to talk about the Steelers and the Cowboys, even though that's going to be an interesting game. I want to talk about the Ravens and the Colts. Because the Colts, they're either in that playoff race, or they're either leading their division, or they're still fighting. They got to go out and prove that Andrew Luck season wasn't a fluke. Chicago has proved that season was a fluke. The Colts want to go out and say, we've got the talent, let's go out and win. And beating Baltimore, they've got the talent to do it. Beating Baltimore is huge for that. So the Colts are playing for playoffs and also for some credibility. Everybody's trying to get credibility. Maybe the NFL is scripted. It's like the Hunger Games. People have to notice you. If you can be the best.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Like,
I think
it's like college football. You can be the
Yeah,
best
beating-
team around, but if nobody notices you, nobody cares. What you got,
Yeah,
Cole?
beating the team that went 14-2 last year is definitely a good step to notoriety.
That would be good.
I believe I'm next, and I'm going to go with the NFC Championship game rematch. And the Green Bay Packers at the San Francisco 49ers on Thursday Night Football. The two games last year, as I said when I was fighting for the 49ers to be higher in our power rankings, were blowouts.
No, not power
They were
rankings.
they were both 3-score games.
That makes me angry.
But I do think the Packers might be able to put up a fight. And the bottom line is it's a rematch of a game that was played in the postseason last year. And anytime that happens, it's something to look forward to.
Right.
So that's why I'm picking that game.
And like you said, Cole, those two teams were high up in our strength listings. Power rankings might get copyrighted. Strength listings. Scotty, you got this game?
Where are we at? Week 9?
Yeah.
Damn, I really thought that.
Oh, that's a naughty language word.
I really thought that
Man.
one of the two of you would have taken one of these two games and made it more easy on me. I'm gonna go Seattle Buffalo,
What was the other game you were talking about?
New Orleans Tampa Bay.
Yeah, okay. We did that already, though.
Seattle Buffalo. Like I've said multiple times, Russell Wilson. This Seattle team has a lot to prove because they didn't win the division this past year and they could have, and they're going to want to this year. So every game matters, and for Buffalo, they're trying to win the division for the first time in years. Right. So every game matters for them, and who knows, New England could keep up with them. Who knows? It's must win for both teams, in my opinion. It's going to be really interesting. It's one of my earlier must win games.
Yeah. Was it week 9, week 10 or so? We're starting to.
We're going into week 10.
We're starting to.
So that means I get to go first.
Yep.
The games are starting to get more important now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For
Starting to
certain
think
teams.
about beyond the regular season by this point. And I'm going to look at two teams that are thinking Super Bowl. The two of the best teams in the NFC last year, the 49ers at the New Orleans Saints,
Yeah.
play each other in week 10 back in New Orleans. And it's a rematch of what was arguably one of the best games last year.
Yeah.
The Niners won on a last-second field goal, 48-45. And it's just two titans in the conference going at each other. I think that it should be. It's one of my games to watch, like throughout the season. Like we were if we were just discussing, pick your games that you want to watch throughout the season. This is definitely in the top 5 for me.
Right. Cole?
I think we lost you. Can't hear you now.
He's not talking.
He was.
Oh.
Hello?
Cole, say something.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Cole's.
We lost
Hold
Cole.
on, technical difficulties. Scotty,
Um,
it's coming to fruition. The technology did our job for us, it seems.
All right, we're going to talk about soccer now. No,
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
Shifting gears.
Um,
Now that we're soccer
I
podcast, we're
can't.
switching the field.
Cole, we can't hear you. Yeah, same.
Yeah. As they play charades,
Um,
I think I'll just kind of take
Oh,
control. Of the
can you
ball.
hear
I
us
heard
now?
I heard an echo.
Yep, we're
Okay,
good.
yeah.
We're back. Cole,
All right,
can you
say
say
something.
something?
He took his earbud out. Cole, say
I
something.
can't hear you. Hello?
Cole.
Cole?
Hello?
Oh, there we go.
Yay.
Okay. Sorry, everybody. Technical
Switching the field
difficulties.
back to football.
Did you stop the recording or no?
No, we just kept
We
going.
kept going.
All right.
Oh, good.
it.
Where are we at?
It's your turn, I think.
I believe it was
Yeah, it's your
Scott.
turn.
your
All right.
turn,
I got a massive division matchup here. It's Indianapolis and Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Nah,
this could be a battle for who's gonna win that division.
That's a crazy game.
It's a really important game. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, Indianapolis, like I said earlier, they're going to have a lot to prove this season. And Tennessee, if Derrick Henry is still doing what Derrick Henry does, it's going to be really interesting.
right.
Yeah.
And now, wait,
Yeah, wait, what?
who's up now?
I'm going.
Ben's
Okay,
up.
Ben's up. Okay.
I think the Bills and the Cardinals could be
Yeah.
a very good game. Once again, two teams, they're on the bubble. They're both trying to win the division to prove that some of the hype that they've been getting is real. And Arizona's strength that they've built up, which is finding ways to pass the ball, Murray being able to escape the pocket sometimes, is going to be met by Buffalo's strength, which is being able to cover guys very well and get pressure on the quarterback, set the edge, keep him from escaping. So I think the two games that are battle of strengths are really fun to watch. Watch out for that Jets and Dolphins game to have potential top pick implications.
Yeah.
I felt the urge to say that.
Tank
Right.
will.
Yeah.
The tank. Oh.
All right. I
Please
believe
don't copyright us
Scott,
here
your
in
turn.
A-Tree.
It's week 11 now.
So week 11, I've got Arizona at Seattle, the reverse fixture. It's the second time we've talked about it, and for time reasons, I'm just going to say
It's even more important.
I agree exactly with what was it Cole who brought up earlier. Yeah, I agree exactly with what Cole said earlier about Arizona and Seattle. It's just more important now because it's down the stretch and it's more playoff implications than before.
And I want to add on something to this. I believe so. The Cardinals since 2013 have only lost in Seattle one time.
Wow.
Since 2013, they've gone up there and they've won every single time but one. So it's a little bit of a proving game for the Seahawks too.
Yeah.
Because last year they were fighting for the division title and they lose 27-13 to the Cardinals with Brett Hundley. So
Yeah, that's
prove that you can beat them at home.
right. I lost my game. Where did it go? Yeah, here it is. Titans-Ravens in Baltimore is going to be an intense game. I wouldn't be surprised. It's a morning game. Wouldn't be surprised if it gets flexed out, and I would like that because the Steelers play a morning game, and I want to watch this game. Tennessee's strengths still a target. Baltimore, I mean, they went out and they got Calais Campbell, but what's that going to be like? Baltimore can still get pressure. Should be a really good game.
Yeah.
Lots of rematch. We'll see what Earl Thomas has to say about it.
Yeah,
See,
I don't know why this game wasn't the primetime game.
No, I don't. I have
No.
no idea.
I don't get it.
Probably because the Chiefs and the Raiders is. Because in Las Vegas, okay, because
Moneymaker.
Mahomes and money. It's all about money in the NFL.
Moneymaker.
And you know
Or
what?
the Chiefs and Raiders playing that week.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm
on Sunday
in
night.
Vegas on Sunday.
Well, if the Raiders end up bombing out, then this game could very well get flexed in.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. But still,
Then we have I'm going to pick the Cowboys at the Vikings
I could make it.
because it is two playoff contending teams playing each other.
Right.
It's two teams that can run the ball very well, and we'll see what happens there. It's in Minnesota. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I think Broncos fans are going to be the only people not watching that game because the only other late game is the Chargers and the Broncos. And everybody knows that Chargers fans do not exist. They're a myth propagated by the Illuminati and the National Football League.
And
we
Phillip
have to
Rivers
fight
back
against
in
it.
the
And
days.
beep, this show has been taken off the air. And guys, it's the NFL's world, and we're just living in it. All right, Week 12, everybody rejoices because it's Thanksgiving, and that's when stuff starts to it just turns up a notch.
Yeah.
Oh boy, it just so happens that Ben gets to pick
Yes,
first
I'm
here,
so
we
happy.
don't have to worry.
I'm so happy that I get to pick this game. I didn't talk about it earlier because I knew I would here, mostly because I think my threat had some meaning because I was really running this. It's the Ravens at the Steelers
On Thanksgiving.
on Thanksgiving. I'm so excited for that game.
All right, who gets the turkey?
Oh, well, let's think. Who are the studs of that game going to be? Now, in my complete...
Early prediction: Lamar Jackson gets the turkey.
No.
Probably, for being
Scotty,
honest.
just leave.
I think Calais
okay.
Campbell gets a nice little bite out of it.
Well, I know he
Dad
doesn't.
told me to leave.
Bye, Scotty. It's not a predominantly hockey podcast. I think I'm a little biased. I think the Steelers will win at home. I think the Steelers and the Ravens will split their games, and I would like for us to win on Thanksgiving because that game has more meaning. So if the Steelers are going to win, Roethlisberger will get one, TJ Watt will get one, and why not? Let's give Joe Hayden one. He tends to get picks late in games against AFC North teams. I think this game will help decide the division if it doesn't outright, and I'm really excited for the Steelers to play the Ravens on Thanksgiving.
Again, I'm with Scott. I think Lamar Jackson gets the turkey, but that's just me. Do I have next or does Scott have
We'll just
I think you have next.
I'll be
next.
nice
Oh,
and
boy.
agree that you guys are wrong.
I get to go with my first pick here, which is the obvious choice once more. Kansas City Chiefs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mahomes versus Brady. I'm expecting points. I don't know. We've seen a lot of the times where we think games are going to be 43-40 and they turn out to be 24-16. I don't know.
Right.
But I'm expecting points. And if you love points, I think this is a good one to watch.
Yeah, that could be a really
Um,
be an interesting game to watch.
I'm gonna go with Detroit on Thanksgiving, just because for me, my dad he grew up just outside Detroit, and so I always have had a little bit of a liking for the Lions, and every Thanksgiving I love waking up and eating cinnamon buns and watching the Lions lose. So, every year I look forward to it, even though I know they're going to lose. But realistically, if Detroit has turned into their old self, where they could go anywhere from 6-10 to 10-6 and possibly grab a playoff spot, then it could be interesting because both teams could be fighting for a late playoff spot. I don't think
By
Detroit's
the way,
going to be in
that's
that
against the
position.
Houston Texans.
Yeah. I don't think Detroit's going to be in a position, but Houston definitely will. So could be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, on to Week 13. Oh boy, it's the closing stages. You could call it the it's not the final act, but we're getting there in terms of the regular season. I believe I have first. Yes, I do. I'm going with the Eagles at the Packers. It's two good quarterbacks playing each other. Like usual, I love quarterback matchups, be it tell by my previous selections. But it's also two very good teams playing against each other. This could have playoff seeding implications, and the Eagles might be fighting for their lives at this point. So
Right.
it might have the meaning in that way as well.
Yeah, that could be a really good game. Ooh, I got my game.
I'm up next, and I'm going to go with Buffalo, San Francisco,
Yes, I'm gonna take my game.
which is what I thought Cole was going to pick, which is why I was prepared.
I was debating between that one and Buffalo and San Francisco.
Which is why I was prepared
I
to
think
take.
that's gonna be the opposite of the Chiefs and Bucks.
Which is why I was prepared to take my my number one choice of Philadelphia and Green Bay.
Oh, are you salty?
But you know,
These teams, both Buffalo and San Francisco, they both have good defenses. It's going to be a defensive battle, and they've both got really good run games. I'm really looking forward to an old-fashioned, December 7th battle in the trenches. It's going to be playoff implications, and it's going to be cold.
Not in San Francisco.
Oh, it's in San Francisco.
If it was in
I was
Buffalo,
wrong. I was
it'd
wrong. I was
It'll be
wrong.
cold.
It'd be
It's always
defense
cold.
Yeah, okay.
in the snow,
Yeah.
fighting for playoffs, fighting for every inch. That'd be great. In San Francisco, it's gonna be-
It'll still be great, and it's a Monday night. It'll be one of the few Monday nights I'll watch because, I don't really watch Monday and Thursday nights because of school.
Scotty.
I'll definitely be
Smarty
watching
pants.
Monday night Buffalo and San Francisco.
This guy's just like, I don't have time for football. I'm taking AP Physics.
And BC Calc, don't forget about that.
Yeah. You're taking just the two.
AP Spanish.
AP Century. I'm also taking 3.
Yep.
Yeah. Cole, you're also a genius.
And coming up in 2 episodes, we read out Scott Lebo's school schedule.
Hey, not just his, mine too. I'm
Shall I
gonna say,
continue? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna say the Bengals at the Dolphins. A rematch of what was a super tank bowl. Again, you're an Aintree. I love your videos. Please don't sue us in London for this. For saying tank bowl. The two top quarterbacks who were drafted fighting at each other, trying to see who got the right guy. Because if Tua hadn't been hurt, it would have been a lot different for Cincinnati.
Yeah, it would have been a tougher
If Tua
choice.
didn't have the injury issues, it would not have been the slam dunk choice that it was.
I don't think the Heisman would have been such an easy decision.
Right, yeah.
after
Burrow
that.
probably still would have won it because 50 touch. 50, what, didn't he throw like 60 or something?
60, yeah.
Yeah, some ridiculous number of touchdowns. A lot of which came against Clemson, which is pretty insane. So yeah, so I think that'll be a really good game. People will hype it, and fairly so as a potential game. Is this going to be the Brady Manning rematch? Because everybody's looking for the next Brady Manning rivalry. So I think this game should be fun. They're fighting. They might be fighting for top draft picks too, because both teams, like we said on our YouTube video where we did our ability list.
Sure,
Whatever I
call it
called
whatever you want.
A copyright neutral name. I've taken that title from Cole. These two teams are rebuilding, and this has implications for 5 years down the road too.
All right.
Yeah.
Week 14, I'm going to take the obvious one. It's Carson Wentz and Drew Brees. It's Philadelphia and New Orleans, and it's down the road. It's major playoff implications. It's two explosive offenses. I'm expecting a high-scoring game, and I'm expecting to enjoy that game. And if I don't enjoy it, I'm going to be really disappointed.
And right now it's in the 4:25 Eastern time slot, probably with Buck and Aikman. So a lot of people listening are probably going to get the opportunity to watch this game.
Yeah.
Buck and Aikman calling in the Eagles game. Nothing quite like that.
No, nothing quite like them calling.
All right, Ben.
Packers
I think
and-
I know which one. I think I know which route you're going here.
It's going to be a good game. I don't think I'm going to get much sleep on the night of December 13th, which is probably going to be bad because I might have finals the next day.
Yeah.
And that's because the Steelers are playing the Bills in Buffalo on a Sunday night. Last time they played on Sunday night, it was a really good game that I lost a lot of sleep over. And there's a bruise on your elbow. That is a cut on your elbow, Scotty.
Yes, I
I
am.
lost a lot of
not
sleep
doing
that night. I was not happy with the Steelers that game. I think with Roethlisberger playing, it's a different game.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Sorry for, I don't know where we were. We had some technical difficulties.
It doesn't help narrow it down much, but I was complaining about the Steelers.
Yeah.
That narrows it down to the whole podcast.
Also, just quick mention, due to some time constraints, we're going to have to be cutting Deal or No Deal, and we'll be saving that for another
And
episode.
We couldn't get the cool people to have the briefcases. And you've never watched Deal or No Deal?
Oh.
There's all the people in like the rows. I'm standing on a chair now, and they're all holding suitcases. Like suitcase 22, $50. Good. I don't want to win $50. That's a waste of my time. So, what was I saying? Yeah.
All right, so
Steelers,
Ben was
Bills.
complaining about the Steelers, and I was just
Again,
saying
Steelers,
what I
Bills,
remember
good
most about the last time the Bills and the Steelers played was Ben complains about this a lot, is that Josh Allen, when he hears Renegade, doesn't fear it. He just says, oh well, just go right down the field and score anyways.
No. He did not read the script. Scott's grandma's right. There are certain things about the NFL that are scripted. The Saints lose a playoff game and then won. In the script, page 49. Young quarterbacks get hyped up and then don't have as good as next year. Page 26, I'm pretty sure. Renegade beats all quarterbacks on
The
that
Patriots
next drive.
have late game comebacks.
Yes. Aided by the officials, which is another topic. And Scotty's just is going, That's
Yeah,
page
his
number
face
1.
just- his
That's
facial
section
expression just
1A.
changed by a
Section
lot.
1B is that Renegade beats all. Only for the first drive. Yeah. I was mad about Duck Hodges, but Cole, he's had to do me dirty like that.
Oh, I was
Trash
just bringing it up. It's
Renegade.
good for the viewers to have context.
No,
I'm going to go with
Renegade.
another NFC
Oh, I
matchup
was
with
gonna say.
playoff contending teams. Minnesota Vikings at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers play a lot of very good games that I'm looking forward to
Right.
between Kansas City, New Orleans twice, Green Bay, and this one. It's a 1 a.m. game Eastern time, but it's gonna be great. And the Vikings are probably going to be fighting for a playoff spot. It's probably going to be down the stretch run that Kirk Cousins is going to have to go and win games. So
Cole,
I
1
have
a.m.
to ask you something.
Is that game in
Is there
London?
like some weird schedule? Like, why is the game at 1 a.m.?
Yeah, I don't thought they canceled the London games.
I was thinking AM because where we live, it would be played at 11
Yeah.
a.m.
Man, 1 a.m.
It would be played
I'll
1
wake up that early
p.m.
and watch the Steelers.
Eastern time.
Yeah.
It is in the a.m. where we
Just
live.
fantasy
It is
roster,
in the
not
p.m.
check
If we have any viewers in the Eastern time zone, my bad. Thanks for correcting me.
Have-
Either way,
if
it
we
should
have
be a
any
good
viewers
game.
in the Eastern time zone, it's always put into your time. So if you're complaining about it now,
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
We don't have to do any math.
Yeah, stop it. Eastern time zones. Cole, I got mad at you there because I thought you were going to explain Renegade, and I was be like, oh, yes. Please do. So, sorry about that. Misunderstanding. What week are we in?
Oh,
You're
let's
bleeding all
see,
over
we
the
just,
chair.
Yes. My
We just
elbow
finished week
has
14.
been cut open and it's bleeding all over the place.
The culprit is still at large, but it's probably me.
Well, thank gosh this isn't the video then.
That's how you get,
We're on to week
that's how you get
15,
demonetized real
so-
quick. Hey, everybody, look at my bloody elbow.
All right, we're on the week 15, so Ben,
I got
you
it
get
from
first
elbowing
choice
Ben
here.
in the nose so hard when he made fun of the Patriots and the refs. Week 15, I have to pick. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, didn't look at these games.
Ben didn't look this far ahead.
Nope, not at all. I'm just kind of winging it. Well, this is a pretty easy one to talk about, and I know that you guys have it. I'm gonna talk about Kansas City and New Orleans.
Yeah.
Scotty's just like, I knew it. I just knew it. Just knew this would happen. Yeah, it's in your script. Yeah, you think you can just talk about the
No,
Steelers?
it's not. It's not my
It's not in your
script.
Oh. Of course you have Detroit playing.
What?
That's 16.
Shh, don't tell him though, because I think Cole picks before me, so I don't want Cole to steal
Oh,
my
Something
game.
tells
don't
me
worry,
he's
the
not gonna
Lions
pick-
were not on my radar.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Something
the
tells me
Lions
he's
are
not
not on my radar.
Something tells me he's not going to pick the Lions and the Bears as a good game. Yeah, Kansas City and New Orleans, Mahomes versus Breeze. I think that just kind of writes itself.
That's the best game of the week by far, in my opinion.
Yeah,
That
I
might
think
be the
that's-
best game of the
I
year.
think that one's just going to write itself. So, yeah.
What?
That game writes it. That script writes itself. And due to time
Yeah.
constraints, that's all I'm going to say.
It's probably the only time we're going to get to see those two guys play against each other
This
also.
podcast has been shortened for the viewing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
For mine, I'm going to pick the historical matchup on Sunday Night Football between the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. There's going to be playoff implications
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Um,
At least for one team.
I think for both.
Yeah, I'm
He's just Ben's just being the humor guy.
yeah.
Eh.
Well, I'm just being the cynical guy. I don't like any of these.
I think that it's going to be a playoff atmosphere there,
don't like any
assuming
of the
that
4 teams
fans
playing
can go
the
into
games.
the stadium by that point in the season. I would assume that if fans were there, that is one that Jerry Jones would bring out the towels for, so that they could wave the towels around and intimidate the 49ers. I don't know, but I am looking forward to it regardless.
Yeah, that should be a good game.
My game did not get stolen. It's Philly and Arizona.
Steelers?
Stolen.
Good one, yeah.
Stealing.
Look, it's two younger quarterbacks who are both very mobile.
Carson Wentz
Or
is the body
Carson
of like
Wentz.
a 40-year-old though now.
Yeah, Carson Wentz is a little bit iffy because injuries,
Everything.
but
'Cause he's broken.
you know, I really like this game, and it has the potential to be a complete bust because both of these teams could not be in the playoff race at all at this point in time. But I expect that Arizona's going to be fighting for a wild card spot, and that Philadelphia is going to be trying to win that division.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
major playoff implications. Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
enough said.
No, said.
It's my first, and I have a tough choice here because there are two games in particular that I'm looking at for which one to choose, but I'm going to make Scott a little upset here that he can't say this one. And I'm going to go with the Monday Night Football game finale between the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots.
Oh, no, that's not what I was going for.
He
Darn.
already said he's not
All
gonna
right.
pick
Well,
Detroit.
either way, I'm going with it because this game may very well be for the division.
Yeah.
And I know
Wait,
this is only the
wait.
second time that they play, but this is definitely a prove-it game for the Bills because
Wait,
go
you
win
said
at
Mon-
Gillette.
wait, hold
Brady's
on.
not there. You
I'm-
guys are supposed to win this division. Go win at Gillette.
I'm
do it.
lost. Where is this?
Wait. What?
Wait, what? You said Monday night?
Yeah, it's on Monday.
In week 16?
Week 16.
Week 16, Monday Night Football, Bills at Patriots.
Google
Oh,
is
man.
lying to me.
Okay,
It says
Goo-
the Titan-
Google's lying to
Oh, it doesn't
Ben.
have a Monday night game.
Oh, it's there.
That's so
It's
weird.
scheduled for
Because
it.
I see the Titans and the Packers on the last one. I'm like, Cole, that's not right. Okay, Google is lying.
Yeah, there it says it.
Oh yeah.
Google lies to Ben.
Google lies.
Well, that is a Monday Night
Oh,
Football game. It's a
Google's
Monday Night finale, and I'm not saying it's going to be for the division because we don't know where either of these teams will be. And we don't know what the Jets and the Dolphins are going to do, but right now, this has a good chance, I think, for being that important of a football game. Definitely a prove-it game for the Bills.
What are you talking about, Cole? I think the Battle of the Bottom Feeders was going to be great. I'm going to smell Scott's protein
No,
shake
you're not
here.
smelling it. You're looking.
Yeah, it looks like a milkshake.
I'm
smells
gonna
like a
go
milkshake.
with Tampa and Detroit. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna talk about
The two teams that have been copying the Patriots.
the two teams that have been copying the page. It's Brady and Gronk versus Patricia and who knows how many other guys like Daron Harmon, Trey Flowers. I'm not sure if
Van
they got
Noy.
Collins or Van Noy.
Heck, they'll probably have
I'm not sure. No, they got
these
one
teams
of
will-
them.
one
I
of
think
these
they
teams will
got
probably
Collins.
have Belichick at this point.
I don't think they have Van Noy.
Trey Flowers.
No, Van Noy's with the.
Yeah, Van Noy's with the Dolphins. So
Tim
Oh,
Buck
he
says
is?
one of these
Yeah.
teams trades for Belichick at the deadline.
yeah, it's really like the New England Bowl. So I'm picking it.
All right. I don't really want to talk about the Vikings and the Saints because I've talked a lot about the Vikings. We've talked about the Saints all night. And in the interest of talking about teams we haven't talked about much tonight, I want to talk about the Colts and the Steelers.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
That
Teams
is
that we haven't
just
talked about
not
very much.
right, but okay. I think this is another one. It's going to be a playoff game down the line. Two teams that could really be fighting for the 4 seed, the 5 seed.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I think it's gonna have playoff implications.
Yeah.
But that Vikings Saints game on Christmas should be good as well.
My protein shake is warm now.
Yeah.
Tells you how long we've been here. All right. I'm gonna say a game that I've already talked about. Seattle and San Francisco again. I love this rivalry. I can't get enough about it, so I'm talking about it twice. Seattle and San Francisco. It's my game, and I'm watching it every time it happens. I love it.
Yeah!
Let's go. Go Seattle! Because I hate San Francisco.
12. I'll stop. I can see where that's not appreciated. All right. Is it cold now?
Yes.
No, it's you.
Space.
Oh, no, it's me. All right. I want to talk about the best tanking game. This guy's just like, why? Why? Because they're interesting. And it's looking like, sorry Cole, looks like it's going to be the Raiders and the Broncos as the best tanking game. Will it be a full-on tank game? No. But I think that game could have implications for one, draft
Mid-round
position for at
pick
least
picks.
one of the team, yeah.
Mid-round
Or
picks.
even if one of the teams just bombs, they're still fighting for it. And these two teams could arguably be going at it for second place in that division.
Yeah.
And that could have really big implications on the next year.
The next year's schedule.
Right, yeah. And that's what I said. I said the worst thing the Broncos could have done the last year, and same with the Raiders, is win games down the stretch.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing they could have done.
You know, if these teams are in a playoff opportunity, it's a different story. But
just because it might hurt them.
if it gets to week 17 and neither of these teams are making the playoffs, neither of them want to win this game if it's going to be for a higher position.
Right, yeah. If I have to
Well,
choose between
I
playing,
disagree for one reason. As a Broncos fan, I can speak to this. We can't lose to the Raiders. No. Any other
That's
team,
probably
sure,
why they put
why not?
division games last
Not,
year.
not the Raiders.
just to
not the
encourage
Raiders.
taking.
Yeah.
I
don't
we saw
care
last week,
if we're
last
gonna
year,
like.
Cincinnati.
Frankly,
Cincinnati
last
won.
year's game, we're stuck playing Pittsburgh now, and we're stuck playing Tennessee now, right? I don't regret a thing. I beat them over and over again.
Beat them? Oh, beat the Raiders. I thought you were like, we'll
Yeah,
beat the Steelers
I
and
beat
the
the
Titans
Raiders over and over
again.
again
I'm like,
because
okay.
I hate them that much, and I refuse to get swept by the Raiders. Or, if we sweep the Raiders, awesome.
Yeah, get it.
If I had to pick two games that the Broncos were going to win, and they were going to go 2-14, I got to pick which two games they won. I'd pick them to win at home against Oakland, and I said Oakland. I picked them to win at home against Vegas, and I picked them to win at Vegas.
Wow.
Broncos fans do not like the Raiders. Raiders fans do not like the Broncos. That's just how it works. Nobody's tanking that game because it just means that much to their pride.
Poor Drew Lock was a young quarterback.
And also, John Elway just doesn't tank for whatever
Young
reason.
quarterbacks just wanted to go and win games.
All right.
And I get to pick now. And because of that selection, I'd like to point out that I am the only person on this podcast that did not pick a game with their favorite team. I'm the only one who did that. I was going to, admittedly, but Ben
Broncos games
did
aren't
it before me. And
That's because Broncos games aren't interesting.
I was thinking about picking the one against the Chiefs because they lose every time, but I enjoy watching it because except for last year, it's usually a pretty good game.
Those are in a lot of games.
But I am the only person that did not pick their favorite team. But I'm going to go with Tennessee at Houston.
And I stand by my reasoning for why you didn't. I stand by that. New England plays important games, or they have good story games. Pittsburgh's playing important games. Poor Denver does not.
You know what? If your team bombs out, I'm not saying they will, but if they do, and the Broncos go 9-7, I want a written apology, and I want you to read it aloud once the season concludes.
What
Can
if
you
the
promise me that?
Steelers make the playoffs and the Broncos don't?
What?
I want a written apology from you.
What do
But
you do?
how about this?
Because
If the
you're making me right.
If the Steelers do not make the Super Bowl,
What?
because I said they weren't Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah,
Because
but
I said they
You
were
don't
not
have to
Super
make
Bowl
the Super
contenders.
Bowl to
If
be a
the Steelers,
contender. All right.
The
The
Steelers do
Ravens
not make
teams
the
are
Super Bowl.
Super
I
Bowl
will
The
apologize.
Ravens and the Chiefs. None of them. One of
Not-
them won't make the
yeah,
Super Bowl.
exactly.
So which one of them is just playoff contenders?
I mean,
Exactly.
I said the Steelers weren't Super Bowl contenders, so if they don't make the Super Bowl,
And-
if they make
Cole,
the Super Bowl, I will apologize to you.
Steelers Trump, you weren't here for it, but Steelers Trump thinks that you are wrong. You are 100% wrong. You are fake news,
right.
Cole. You
All
and
right, let's get
Google
this moving along.
are-
I still have to pick. So I'm going to pick the Titans at the Texans,
All right.
and because this game could be
Wild
for the
card.
division, I think.
Or it could be a division game, or it could be a wild card game. It's
Yeah,
important
could
for
be
both
any of them.
teams.
I think that. Excuse me, Colts. You could prove me wrong in the season. I think these are the two best teams in the division right now.
Yeah, you were against the Colts.
They're going to be playing each other week 17, so I like that job by the schedule makers playing those two teams week 17 because that could very well be for the division or a wild card game, like Scott said. All right, well, that concludes our discussion and our deep dive into the 2020 NFL schedule.
The deepest dive.
It was a fun discussion. I enjoyed it because I'm a schedule nut. As Scott said, we're going to skip deal or no deal. Are we doing the water break?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need a break.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, we are going to jump into our water break. Let's cue the elevator music. If you don't want to listen to Scott's elevator music, feel free to fast forward. In today's
heartless monster.
I can't hear Cole anymore. Wait, Cole, wait. Can you say that last bit again?
What?
Can you say that last bit again?
If you do not feel like listening to Scott's elevator music, feel free to fast forward 1 minute and 30 seconds into today's podcast to get right back to the sports. We will be right back.
If you don't want to listen to it, you're heartless monster. If you still happen to be listening right now, you are not a heartless monster, but you're in fact a very loving and caring person, and we appreciate you very much. You're also the GOAT if you're listening right now. We don't want to listen to Big C's intro yet. That comes later.
All right.
That was a different day.
Welcome back, everybody. Because of the pandemic we are all facing, obviously there have been talks about having limited fans in NFL stadiums for the 2020 NFL season. Teams such as the Miami Dolphins have released plans to let 10 to 15,000 people into a stadium on game day. So this brings us to our next discussion. What impact will this limited amount of fans and a limited amount of ticket sales have on the NFL and its individual teams? Let's start with the NFL itself. How does this affect the league?
Well,
They lose
Scott, why
money.
don't you
yeah,
start?
the bottom line of this issue is the bottom line. That's it.
They lose money. The NFL is losing money. It's massive.
And if this affects anybody, it's the players. Because players' salaries are generated from TV rights and going to games, the ticket sales.
Jersey sales.
Jersey sales, yeah, that helps too. But for the most part, NFL teams don't lose money to pay players because TV rights help them pay the players. That's what that money goes to. Fun fact. So I think this really just affects the league's money. If people can, I don't know what other teams do. And you mentioned the Dolphins. The Steelers have plans to only sell half of their tickets right now. so you can spread the fans out easily or more
Yeah.
easily. And then, obviously, if things start to go down, sell the other tickets. But it's better to just plan for the worst and then improve from there. So,
Yeah.
spread just to fix their money.
Oh, I agree, definitely. I think, it just comes down to money. It's going to have a huge impact, and I think that it might impact the salary cap coming up. And I also think it impacts whether players, whether teams hold off on giving players new big contracts. I know the Jets are holding off on giving Jamal Adams a contract, largely because of the uncertainty coming with the salary cap just this next season. Because they don't know how it's going to be affected by these limited ticket sales. So I think it also affects that. So now this is more of the fun part of this discussion. In terms of NFL teams, so as Scott would say, we're going to shift gears here. Which team is most negatively affected by not having fans
Whoever's
in
playing
regular
at the
season home
Chargers.
games? Which team needs the fans the most?
Honestly, the teams that are winning.
So I would say you could definitely say Kansas City or Seattle here. They're two teams that get big numbers, in New Orleans. But I'm going to say New England because this year they're going to be relying a lot on their defense,
Which helps with the crowd.
and you get a lot of help from the crowd noise
Right.
when your defense is out there. I'm like, New England's going to need all the help they can get if they can get back to the playoffs. And Gillette Stadium's a loud stadium, and they get a lot of emotion going there. It's going to be difficult to recreate that without Brady and if there's no fans.
But I think that you could argue the other point is that not having the fans there, at least for this first year, might actually help, at least for the offense. And hear me out here,
but I mean,
because you guys have been spoiled for the last 2 decades, right?
Yeah.
With Tom Brady winning Super Bowls. If Stidham struggles, I don't know that it's going to be a happy reception from fans at Gillette Stadium. I don't think that he's going to exactly I think you might hear some boo birds, and that can have a negative mental effect on an NFL quarterback. And for that reason alone, I do agree with you that the Patriots are largely dependent on their defense and that the crowd noise helps the defense.
Yeah.
So for that reason, it's going to help them. And not disrespecting Patriots fans and saying this, at least not trying to, but it might be beneficial for Stidham if there are fewer people in the stadium. If he struggles, there are less negative voices to be heard to impact him mentally.
I honestly have to disagree with the offensive analysis. I think if you're, especially for Stidham, your coach is Bill Belichick. And how serious he is. If you are an NFL quarterback and people booing you frazzles you.
Belichick's not going to keep you in very long.
If you're NFL players, they're not just at the top of their physical position. They have to be mentally strong too. Pro athletes have to be mentally strong. Especially Brady. Brady got booed everywhere he went.
Yeah.
Literally every stadium he went to booed Brady.
Well, I think that's different because
if you don't have
when
the
the
mental
road team's
capacity
booing you, that's a positive sign because that means you're good. That means they're noticing you. Brady, I think Brady loved it when Pittsburgh booed him. I think Brady loved it when Indianapolis booed him.
Players
when your own
thrive
fans
on that.
boo you, that is
it's
something else, I think. And I agree with you that NFL players should be mentally tough, and I agree with you that Stidham will handle it better than, say, maybe a high school quarterback or a college quarterback. However, this is his first year starting, and I think that you just have to be worried about the mental effect that can have on a quarterback who's starting his first year, especially one who's replacing Tom Brady.
Yeah, again, I see what you're talking about. I disagree with if that's affecting you. I don't think you should be at that level. I'm going to agree with Scotty, though, on which team. I think Pittsburgh is going to get affected by this a lot, too.
Going favorites.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Pittsburgh, they're going to start relying on defense a lot.
Yeah.
They shifted from playing high offense to playing – they're going to have to win games with defense. And when Renegade plays, for those – during the break between the third and fourth quarter and also in the 2-minute warning at home games, Heinz Field, the stadium where the Steelers play, plays Renegade by Styx, and they show defensive highlights as it's going. And the stadium just goes absolutely insane. and with the exception of Josh Allen, thanks Cole, it's almost like a little magical thing, like a superstition. It's had effects. Brady the Patriots took the false start the year before, and when Renegade started playing. Renegade just makes, like, I think T.J. Watt got a sack on Brady after a Renegade play or something like that. But it just ooms up the defense. They tend to make a stop, especially since it's a critical series. And those are the intangibles that the crowd gives certain teams.
Yeah.
And does it make an impact where, oh my gosh, we can't win our games anymore? No. It certainly helps, but it's not like a crippling factor where the Chiefs won't be able to win games if they don't have everybody at Arrowhead screaming and doing the tomahawk chop. So it certainly makes an impact, but nothing that these guys, I don't think, can overcome just by being in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that Pittsburgh is definitely a good choice for this because, like you said, Renegade, the crowd noise helps. Those are, ruckus bunch of fans out there, and that's a good thing because they're very loud and they get ahead of the offense. And I agree with you. I don't think it's gonna. I think that it's not gonna. The fans aren't gonna dictate whether teams win or lose a game. I think that they do help, but I'm not gonna pick favorites here because if there's one team that their home field advantage is still strong without the fans, it's Denver because of the altitude.
Yeah.
If there's one team where that advantage is still prominent, it's going to be that team. I'm going to go. This is a tough one. I think I'm going to go with Seattle.
Yeah.
Seattle.
Solely because the stadium is constructed to bring the noise to the field. That's why it's so loud. It's because the way it's like constructed is just to have it all go to the field, and it's very loud. It gets in the head of the offense, and their defense. It's not the Legion of Boom. It's probably a middle of the rank defense, and I think that the crowd noise gives them that extra jolt to make that stop when they need to. And I think that's going to negatively impact them. The 12s aren't going to be as prominent. The 12s are a large part of Seattle. So
I think the Saints have flown under the radar in this too.
Yeah, the Saints is the other one I was debating.
In the Superdome, it's just different. The Superdome, Arrowhead, Gillette, you have to play perfect if you want to win there. And a big part of that is the fact that the Saints fans are hungry for blood, per se. And Scotty right now has a good deposit for him.
I mean, yeah, because we all remember the NFC title game between the Rams and the Saints. Jared Goff couldn't hear anything because Sean Payton encouraged the crowd to make noise when they were in the huddle.
Right.
So Jared Goff couldn't hear the play call. And that was a huge part of the reason why the Saints jumped out to a 13-0 lead. Because the offense couldn't function because Jared Goff couldn't even hear the play call.
Exactly.
So, Scott, do you have any soccer news for us today?
Yes, the Italian Serie A is planning on returning on the 20th of June, from what my sources are saying. And I also heard today that it sounds like the Premier League is going to be coming back June 17th is the date they're aiming for. And it looks like they're going to be having some friendlies, which is basically a scrimmage friendlies beforehand.
Perfect timing for the new podcast.
Yeah. Some friendlies before June 17th to kind of get back into the time or the playing level that they were when the season got postponed.
Yeah.
That's what I got for you guys today.
More soccer? Oh.
All right. Thanks for the update. It's good to see that a bunch of leagues are plotting a return.
Yeah.
It's an encouraging sign that hopefully things are getting better. Do we have any hurry-up offense things that we can get into?
Nothing?
Nothing's coming in. Normally, we rely on questions from the fans and questions that kind of just pop up while we're talking. And
Yeah. I think we answered most questions that popped up while we were talking in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
This
Well,
game's a
that's
blowout,
it
so
for
there's no
today.
hurry-up
Yeah.
offense at the end.
This is all right. We're gonna do take a knee questions. which is how can we waste 40 seconds per question?
Take a knee. We're running out the clock. This is clock management. Andy Reid, take notes.
Yes.
Eh.
Andy Reid's just stroking his Lombardi trophy. He's like, mock me all you want. I finally did it. I mean, Nate, zoologists are happy that the monkey or the walrus finally got the monkey off his back. It's not too far.
All right.
I don't know about that.
Oh,
but
come on. Everybody else calls him the walrus. And monkey on his back is a common expression.
The monkey on his back is fine. The walrus is a little mean.
Oh, come on. You called Sean McVay the boy genius. I mean,
That's
what
because he
about
is the
Darth
boy
Belichick? Am I
genius.
allowed to
That's
say
the
Darth
compliment.
Belichick? Emperor Belichick? Good, Stidham, good. Yes, Mahomes, strike me down in all of your hatred.
oh boy.
Am I allowed to?
All right. Well, here's a take a knee question. This has nothing to do with sports. If you were a zookeeper and you saw a monkey on a walrus's back, what would you do?
Get on Instagram?
Yeah, take a video, post it so I can go
Yeah.
viral and get famous.
Yeah, because those things go well. Oh, look, the monkey and the kitten, they're friends.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my gosh,
they're
look
friends.
at that. It's a puppy and a deer. Oh my goodness, Scotty, your elbow. It's an L.
bleeding.
It's an L.
It's bleeding again.
It's actually an L.
I thought I had stopped it.
I guess not. No, let's say it's an L. It's an elephant.
All right. Well, that's it for today, everyone.
Yeah, hopefully Scotty
Thank you to
will
Big
be alive.
C for lighting the fire for us every show.
Thanks,
Thanks
Big
to YouTube and Instagram for being our two platforms. And most importantly, thanks to them for not being Podbean.
Boo.
Thanks to-
Podbean.
Thanks
Man.
to Scott for the rest of the music. And thanks to Sound Effects for covering up Ben's bad mouth.
Hey, I want it noted that I kept the swears on a minimum tonight, all right?
You really
I do
did.
not have a potty mouth.
And most importantly, thanks to our listeners. We appreciate you. We love you with all our hearts, and we appreciate you guys every day,
You guys are
especially if
great.
you listen this far into the podcast.
Yeah, you guys are great.
Well, that's a wrap, everybody. We'll see you on Friday.
Bye.
We're gonna come up with a name for this closing song.
How about closing song or something like that?